Hello everyone. As I was commenting the other day on the Sue's, one of Sue's videos, and that is Sue's Journeys videos, a commentator, we were talking about letting go of the suffering, for example, of narcissistic abuse. And the comment was done by a very nice commentator called AA, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying his name. And it was about letting go. How long does the victim need to suffer, basically? And as we know, even after no contact, victims are still suffering because of the abuse, because they relieve the abuse constantly. And for how long does the victim of abuse need to go through that process? And one of the things we can see is that a victim of abuse end up torturing themselves by relieving the abuse. So one of the things I believe would help somehow is to go through the normal process. And the normal process is basically you need to face the music. And that means that you need to accept that you have been abused. No matter how hard the circumstances are, you cannot hide it in the subconscious. And I have said that many times, and I'm going to be very rude, but the subconscious is a bitch. And it'll come back and bite you if you don't face the music. It will bring you physical and mental diseases. And one of the things to avoid all these things is to face the music. And that means accepting that you have been abused. And then, unfortunately, you have to go through the process of relieving each of these abuse, no matter how hard it is. No matter how hard it is, you have to relieve it. And from relieving comes the suffering, of course. And unfortunately, again, you need to suffer, because by doing so, you are going to heal. So, in my humble opinion, there is these phases you have to go through, and that is face the music, accept your abuse, relieve it, suffer, and then release. Because one of the things that I've seen times and times again in commentators and in videos is that people torture themselves relieving constantly the abuse. And that is to give the power to the abuser. And we cannot do that. People cannot do that. You cannot give your power to the abuser. You have to regain that power. And at some stage you need to stop relieving. You need to stop remembering. You need to regain your power. You don't allow the torturer to continue torturing you, because now you are doing the dirty job. You are torturing your own self. You need to go through all the phases of healing. You need to suffer, unfortunately. You need to relieve again. And comes to mind that yesterday I was watching a video that Narcissistic Resistance made. And it's about how by relieving constantly the abuse, it apparently it shows in his own face, like, you know, in his expression, in his eyes, and people think that he's still angry or he's still upset. And It comes from giving your power to the abuser. Sometimes the abuser is even dead. Sometimes you have no contact for years and years, and still you torture your own self. You can't do that. You can't do that. You cannot give the power to the abuser. You need to go through the phases, and you need to go through all the stages of healing. You need to get out of the subconscious all what is stored in there. You need to do a cleanup that will allow you to smile, to enjoy life, not to be bitter, not to be angry, because by being angry and bitter, you lose your power. So regain your power, regain your own happiness. And this is why I put on the title of this video, be a rebel. Rebel. Be happy. Regain your power and win. Bye for now.